Watch fam, it's me, Braxton Smith, and today you join me here at 2:41 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. Now, I'm sitting here in my 66 Mustang, and today the subject of this video is what happened to the watch industry that made us teens and a lot of adults not interested in purchasing high-end timepieces, or even middle-end or low-end timepieces at that. So what happened to the watch industry? So, I asked a lot of kids at my school, and I asked a lot of adults who don't wear watches or wear smartwatches, what is the reason that you stop buying timepieces? Their main complaints are the timepieces are too expensive and they don't see spending that much of their salary on them, which is a decent thing in my opinion because nobody should spend that much on a watch. Unless you're into this hobby like I am and you want to spend a lot of money. But before we get too far into the video, let me do a quick wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Hamilton Spirit of Liberty on the silver bracelet. It's a really hefty timepiece, but again, it's pretty nice. Bought it in Paris when I went on vacation this year. And you can see outside today, it's really not that beautiful of a day. That's the reason I'm sitting inside my car, not outside, where it's blithering cold. It's even cold while I film this. However, let's get back to the subject. Why aren't people buying timepieces like they used to, and why aren't teenagers or young adults interested in purchasing a timepiece that'll last them for their entire life, like a Rolex Datejust or a Patek Philippe, like their advertisements say, you never truly owned a Patek Philippe, you're only holding on to it for the next generation. So why have we stopped purchasing these? Well, one of the main reasons is price, and another main reason is just because they haven't advertised enough in my opinion, or at least advertised in the correct ways. Well, I know that Oris sponsors cars in the Le Mans, and I know that Rolex sponsors divers and swimmers, and even like the James Cameron Rolex Deep Sea, how that was quite the interesting adventure to stick out outside of a submersible. And they sponsor a bunch of these different events, but they're not reaching the core crowd or where it's getting to. Like, a lot of people watch cartoons in my generation, and a lot of people watch other different things that don't involve watches or don't involve any of these timepieces. One of the things that got me into timepieces, as you'll see in my website description, is I watched Doctor Strange a couple of years ago, and I saw his watch collection, and boy, I think that was something else. So I went and bought a $5 Walmart watch, and now my collection has increased to the point where it's at right now. So, why? Why don't we get more watches out there? Why don't we suggest to the brands to advertise in different ways? Like advertise on Adult Swim maybe, or maybe even advertise to a slightly younger crowd. Now I know a lot of these timepieces aren't formally done to the younger crowds, they're actually done for younger people, or older people I mean. These watches are pretty similar, and for example Rolex, they haven't changed their brand off too much. They have the same oyster case, they have the same watches. They're releasing new things at Baselworld, like the Rolex. When you can't think of the name of the watch, I'll put it up here. It's their new release, can't think of the name. Or how Omega just keeps putting their watches out there, the same watch pretty much every single year. However, I do really like the Rio edition, but it wasn't advertised that much, so you wouldn't have known it would have existed. So a lot of people don't see those types of things, and that's a watch that I think appeals to a lot of my generation, are those new bright, colorful watches. They don't want something old and classic, while that might be beautiful. However, I believe if a bunch of these watch brands were to advertise out there and create a slightly newer, or at least updated version of their watch that would appeal to my generation, maybe something that includes a bit of a smartwatch, kind of like Tag Heuer's new watch. I don't know, I can't think of the name of it right now. But if watch brands were to include something like a new smartwatch feature that keeps track of your steps and allows you to take calls by tapping it, I know that there's something out there that allows you to like smack this little piece on the bottom of your watch that just allows you to get that going on your watch. However, if one of the watch companies were to build it in, I believe that way would spend, my generation and some adults would spend money on those types of watches, whereas they're not spending money on them right now, because they'll spend $1,000 on a new iPhone X, but they won't spend $1,000 on a nice timepiece. And once the brands get them hooked in, I believe that they will be able to see them. I just gotta lost this. I don't even know why I'm playing. You see, I spend money on a watch, but I don't spend money on this. I suppose that just makes me a little bit different. Anyways, I just wanted to say, that some of the brands should really start investing in updating some of their timepieces with some smartwatch technology and get them hooked, get my generation hooked into buying their watches. Kind of like how Michael Kors or Supreme or a bunch of these other new brands are getting them hooked just by their logo. People are willing to spend money on that because everybody knows what that is, but not everybody knows what an Omega is, not everybody knows what Breitling is, not everybody knows what an IWC is. So you get a lot of people not wanting to spend their money on something that people don't recognize. People will spend money on blinged out Rolexes, which are hideous, but somehow oddly satisfying too at the same time, because, I've always wanted to try one out, but I just don't know how I would feel about wearing one. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right wearing my watch that I'm wearing today. It feels a bit too blingy. For my age especially, but anyways, I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention, and maybe if some of the watch industry see this, or another watch brand sees this, maybe we need to hooking people into our brands, or their brands, by introducing newer technology and introducing some updated designs, kind of like the Rio Olympics Omega Seamaster. It wasn't too much of an updated design, but that little speck of color really grabs a lot of people's attention, especially at my school, as I've shown them that. Or the old 90s Omega Matic, that grabs a lot of people's attention because it's like a newer and updated design. And it does pay homage to the classic, and it will eventually get people interested in purchasing more timepieces. And I believe that's a big thing right now for the Swiss watch industry, or any of the watch industries out there at all, is that we really, really, really need to focus on grabbing more of the younger crowd's attention. I love watching Formula One racing, and I love seeing the sponsorships by Oris and Tag Heuer and Omega. I love seeing these sponsorships along with Rolex and Wimbledon. I love watching the Wimbledon games, and I loved watching the Formula One game. Ah, here comes a polo. Yep, pretty nice. Oh well. Anyways, just wanted to bring that to your attention. Thanks for watching, and please come back tomorrow for the next episode, which I believe will be on Harrison's Chronometer. Yeah, Harrison's Chronometer. Well, anyways, have a good day, and cheerio. Watch him. Adios.